students, now let us talk about cell wall. You know that cell wall is a very characteristic feature of plant cells. Plants. Cell wall isn't present in all the cells, you know that, right? Cell wall is just present in some of the cells. Like in plants, you will find cell wall. In fungi, you will find a cell wall, right? But you will not find cell wall in animals, right? So that's the difference. So what is a cell wall? What is the structure? Why is it present? What is the function? All this we are going to cover under this topic, right? Now in front of you, you see a picture, right? Now this picture is of the plant cell, okay? Now in the plant cell, the most exterior thing that is there on the periphery, that's imparting shape to the cell, that is the cell wall. Even when we were talking about the hypertonic solution, right, at that time I told you that when the blood cell was there in the hypertonic solution, at that time it became flaccid and all the cell content oozed out. But in the plant cell, when it was placed in the hypertonic solution, what happened is that all the content did oozed out of the cell, but then because of the cell wall, the shape of the cell was constant. It was maintained. All this was due to the cell wall. So now this, what is cell wall? You know where it is present now. So you see this plant cell image that's there, right? And you see the cell wall. The cell wall basically gives shape to the plant cell. Let us try to understand more things, more details about the cell wall. So, this is a cell wall. So, it's not a simple thing, okay? It's a layer. Again, there are many layers, like sandwich, okay? You could see there's plasma membrane in there, and then there is the middle lamella, and then the middle part that you see, that is the primary cell wall, right? And then we will understand about this very part, and then what are the components and what it is composed of, okay? So understanding how exactly it makes the cell, or like what it is or how it is. So a cell wall is a rigid, semi-elastic, semi-transparent and protective covering that's present outside the plasma membrane, okay, in the plant cells. Also it's found in the fungi, and then I wanted to give you this example, that is, it is also found in prokaryotes. In prokaryotes, in bacteria, you know. So the outermost thing there in bacteria is capsule, and inside that there is a cell wall. So cell wall is also present in bacteria. Cell wall is present in fungi, and cell wall is present in plants. But cell wall isn't present in animal cells, right? So what is the cell wall? How is it? It's rigid, it's tough, it is semi-elastic. So, you know, in hypertonic solution, it can expand. It can expand and not let the cell break. So it has this elasticity property, right? It is semi-transparent. It's translucent, right? It's not completely transparent. It's semi-transparent. It's a protective covering that's present outside the plasma membrane. So of course you have the plasma membrane, and then outside the plasma membrane you have the cell wall, okay? It's predominantly found in the plant cells, fungi and prokaryotes. So now let's see what is cell wall composed of. Now, so the cell wall is made up of cellulose in plants. I told you that cell wall is present in plants, cell wall is present in fungi, cell wall is present in bacteria. That's the prokaryotes. So understanding the composition, what exactly is the cell wall made up of? So cell wall in plants is made up of cellulose, which is softer wood, cellulose, you know, that makes it hardy, provides mechanical strength to the plant cell, okay? Cell wall in the fungus, you know, fungal cellulose and chitin in the fungi, Plasmodesmata. So in fungi, it's made up of chitin. Okay, so cell wall in the plants, it's made up of cellulose, and cell wall in the fungi, it's made up of chitin. Now, understanding about cell wall, why is it present? Why not just we satisfy just on plasma membrane or the cell membrane? Even the plants are good, right? They are living, they are surviving. Why do the plants need a cell wall, and why is it actually necessary, or why is it present? So cell wall is an extra deposition of lignin, suberin and cutin, and may be present during the secondary thickening. So firstly understand what exactly is the cell wall, what kind of thickening or what kind of deposition is the cell wall. So cell wall is an extra deposition primarily in the plants, because we often get to see the cell wall in the plant. So in the plant, cell wall basically consists of an extra deposition of lignin, which is wood, suberin and cutin. Suberin and cutin, these are kind of a waxy in nature, water repellent type of substances. Lignin is a woody kind of substance that provides that woodiness to the plants, okay, that mechanical strength, that turgidity to the plants. Okay, the cell wall is an extra deposition of the lignin, the suberin and the cutin, may be present during the secondary thickening. So in the plants there is secondary thickening, so during the secondary thickening this is present. Now there is a cementing layer that's called as middle lamella, as you can see in the picture. Can you see in the picture? In the picture, what all things you can see? You could see middle lamella, you could see primary cell wall, you could see plasma membrane, right? So in the cell wall, so this cell wall in this picture, there is a cementing layer. As you focus on the middle lamella, this cementing layer is the middle lamella that's present between the wall of the two adjacent cells. Okay. Also, there are so many cells in the multicellulose, right? So there has to be some communication between the cells. So cell possesses small tiny pore like things, or small tiny pores through which the adjacent cells can communicate, and that is called as plasmodesmata. Okay, so these pores in the adjacent cells that are there, that's called as plasmodesmata, with the help of which the plant cells or the adjacent cells can actually communicate with each other. Communicate in what sense? Are they gossiping? No, they are not gossiping. Communicate with respect to giving some nutrient, or maybe taking in something, or passing on the messages, all that kind of communication. Right? So cell wall possesses small pores through which adjacent cells communicate, and that is called as the plasmodesmata. Now what does the cell wall do? As I told you, cell wall primarily gives shape to the cell, because it's the outermost envelope. So it is mainly responsible for giving shape to the cell. So cell wall basically provides shape to the cell. Cell wall also provides mechanical strength to the plants. The growth of the cell wall determines the growth of the cell. If the cell wall is growing, the cell will grow. So the growth of the cell is based on the growth of the cell wall. So the growth of the cell wall determines the growth of the cell. Again, like we saw the example hypertonic solution, wherein even if there is lots and lots of water, like in hypertonic solution, even if the plant cell is taking in lots and lots of water and it's just swelling, but still it is preventing the plant cell to explode or to burst. Who is doing that? It is the cell wall that's providing that mechanical support and preventing the bursting of the cell during endosmosis. Cell wall, it has the ability to withstand a lot of variation in nature, because that's the outermost layer. So it has that ability to also face a lot of variation, a lot of changes in the nature.